talking about damn Steph Curry and Mike Conley. God, I'm such a turd bag. All right, yes.
That's mine.
So, then tomorrow, sorry, at 5 o'clock.
A turd bag.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I am, dude, for doing that. Because I just got through saying it out of my mouth. It's just like I don't listen to the podcast when I'm not recording. I try to listen when I am recording, but obviously I'm not doing that either. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock on ESPN, you have the Atlanta Hawks going up to Washington to take on the Washington Wizards of John Wall-less or Washington Wizards team. In my estimation, I don't know this for a fact yet, but I think he's been ruled as he's been classified as doubtful for the game. So, and then at 8 o'clock, you get to see the mixtape, Steph Curry, Mike Conley, Zebo, those dudes, as well as Draymond and Klay Thompson, as Golden State goes to the Grindhouse and takes on the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now on Sunday, what the hell's going on here? The Cavs are back in Chicago to take on the Bulls in Game 4 at 3:30 on ABC, and at 8:30 p.m. the Rockets will take on the L.A. Clippers at the Staples Center, or I guess they say don't say the Staples Center, at Staples Center in L.A. And just for good measures, since we're not going to do this, we'll be recording while this is happening. The Hawks will be in Washington again on Monday for Game 4 of their series to take on the Wizards, and Golden State will be back in the Grindhouse at 9:30. Both games on TNT. They'll be in the Grindhouse to take on the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday night at 9:30. So now that you guys are all caught up and you know what to look for this weekend, that's pretty much it for the world of the NBA. Now let me tell you guys how I got. Maybe about 3 weeks ago. I'm going to say 3 weeks ago. I'm not good with when things happen in particular. That's not the crux of the story, though. We were having a conversation about the NCAA, and Rob mentioned the Todd Gurley law that was going through Congress that someone proposed. Not someone. That's not what I should be doing.
The state representative.
Should be telling you
The state
his name. His name is Barry Fleming. He is a Republican out of, I guess, Harlem, Georgia. That seems crazy.
Yeah, that's down by Augusta.
Harlem, Georgia is where my man is from, Barry Fleming. Now, you say, Mike, well, what is the Todd Gurley law? Glad you asked. It is better known as, I think it's called State Law 3. God, what is it called? Anyway, let's call it the Todd Gurley law until I can find what it's actually called. But anyway, yesterday, Governor Nathan Deal, House Bill 3. Sorry, there's right there in my face. Governor Nathan Deal signed House Bill 3 into law to provide both criminal and civil penalties for anyone who tries to bribe or monetarily entice college athletes to knowingly break NCAA rules. The reason it's called the Todd Gurley law, for those of you who don't keep up with SEC football or you don't really vibe with college football or whatever, last year Todd Gurley was cited by the NCAA for signing autographs and taking money for doing so, which led to a 4-game suspension and him having to play. He had to pay money back. God, what's happening? So this guy, Barry Fleming, he proposed this law this bill. He put this bill into action, or whatever you call it, in politics. And yesterday it was signed into law. And initially I was like, see, perfect, great. That's what should happen. If you do something to cause a kid to lose his eligibility, you should face some sort of penalty as well.
Penalty, right.
Under this new law, let me tell you what the penalties are. Under this new law, people like dealers who paid Todd Gurley can now be prosecuted criminally for misdemeanors of a high and aggravated nature under Georgia law section 17-10-4. That means a fine up to $5,000 and up to 1 year in jail. So my initial response, like I said, was like, yes, yes, yes. Here's the problem. and this was pointed out to me in this article written by the Legal Blitz. Oh, his name is, and I'm gonna try to get this dude on the show next week. His name is Steve Silver. He's the founder of thelegalblitz.com. And I wanted to actually have a conversation with this guy because this is a very, very well-written article, and it really brings some things to light that I totally, it just went over my head. And like I said before, it's because I had been championing this thing for a long time, something like this happening, but not realizing what it was. It actually turns an NCAA rule kind of into a law. Into a United States of America law, which at its onset you look at it and say, okay, well now that's gonna discourage people from doing this thing, maybe. But here's where the problem arises. I'm a person, well, part of what the NCAA is right now in appellate court fighting is that these kids that their likenesses have no value. The fact that someone would pay Johnny Manziel or Todd Gurley or James Winston or whoever as a college student for their autograph, or someone would give Terrell Pryor something for memorabilia or for him signing autographs as well, it tells a different story. It tells that they do have their likenesses and their names do have value. What this law actually does, in essence, is furthermore strip them of that value. And initially, I didn't see it that way. I totally missed on it. What Mr. Silver says here is that what this law really does is criminalize capitalism, and it ensures that the NCAA institutions will recoup any revenue lost, while the athletes still get nothing. Right. So while this stuff can still happen, I can still go and get, I don't know, what's this kid's name? What's the kid's first name that plays running back for Georgia now? His last name is Chubb.
Who is that?
The kid that plays running back for Georgia now, Chubb. The kid that was a freshman.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb,
Nick
right?
Chubb.
I can go get him to sign a bunch of stuff. I can still do that, and I can still sell it, but then something will happen to me. I have to pay a fine, or I may get put in jail. He'll still lose his eligibility. But the winner becomes the NCAA. Because once I pay that fine, it goes back to them. It's restitution for lost wages.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's restitution. That's what you do. You're paying restitution.
Okay. See, I didn't see, never, no, okay.
Because think about it. It's like any other crime.
I never saw that.
It's like any other crime. Now, they're not going to detail it that way. But if I assault you and the judge sentences me to, I don't know, 60 days in jail plus $9,000 in restitution. The restitution is for you, for the victim. You know what I mean? And in this case, the victim of the crime will not be the kid. It will be the NCAA. Feel me? See, it's just more slick junk, man. And I hate, as I'm reading this, I'm hating myself for being so caught up in the fact that something that I thought of finally came to fruition. But it's wrong. It's still wrong. It's still wrong. It's all damn get out. And he says this is basically a state government adopting NCAA rules as criminal code. They've turned an NCAA rule, dog, into a damn law, a real law. So now,
but look at it like this though. It's going to deter people from attempting to do it though.
Right, but the other thing that it does is it furthers the false narrative that let's say me as a college football player, have my likeness has no value, and I shouldn't be able to capitalize off my value. And that's the other argument that I've always had. So now what I realize is, hell, I've been arguing against myself. I've been arguing 2 points against the same. Against one another, while I'm saying something needs to happen to these people who do this kind of stuff, when really what needs to happen is, guess what, man? Inevitably, I'll say it again, and I'll continue to beat this drum. If Rob Callaway is the best player on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets team, and some dude from Nissan wants to put him in a 30-second a TV commercial with his Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets jersey, or maybe not. Maybe just because sometimes that you run into other problems, but they put you in like a blue and yellow jersey. It's a plain yellow jersey with no Georgia Tech logo on it, so people understand who it is, but not really who it is, or where you're from. And they want to do that and let you drive a car for the semester. By all means, you should be able to. Yeah, you should be able to.
Yep.
So, like I said, I was arguing, not realizing I'm arguing 2 points against one another. Yeah, the whole rule should be scrapped, is what should happen. Now I'm on the other side. There should be no rule against somebody getting you to sign autographs for money. You should be able to make that money. The rule, the thing that should change is the fact that you get in trouble for it. That's what should change. Because just because Rob's autograph is worth more than the third string punter or the girl that plays forward on the soccer team, yeah, tough crap. That's the real world. You know what I mean? Puff Daddy's autograph is worth way more than mine. You know what I am? Cool with it. I understand the pecking order. You know what I mean? That's the real world. That's the world we live in. Guys, and like I say, man, I'm getting so angry with myself reading this article, man, to the point where I'm like, golly. But I've got to come back and tell you guys, I got. I got. Here's the genesis of the bill. Here's a quote from Barry Fleming, the Republican who he did get his undergraduate degree from UGA. If you're wondering what the tie is in between him and the university, excuse me. He says, quote, "I was disappointed when it happened." He's talking about Todd Gurley being suspended because he signed the autographs. "I was disappointed when it happened, but I understand the young man comes from a very humble background. His mother didn't even have funds to properly repair the roof on the trailer she was raised in, or she raised him in. Excuse me." End quote. Yeah, my man, you know what to help with that? If you just let him keep the loot. If you let my man keep the loot from the autographs, his mama can get the roof fixed. Instead of punishing the kid, taking him off the field for 4 games. Luckily, people who are smarter than the NCAA people understand when they see a beast, and he still got drafted with one of the first 10 picks of the draft.
Oh, yeah.
But what's the odds of that happening every time? Slim, dude. Everybody ain't built like Todd Gurley. And here's the other thing. We was talking about the other day. We was talking about Braxton Miller. He's a dude who may have capped out his recognition. He may have hit his recognition ceiling, dude. He may never be as popular as he is or was when he was the 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year. He may never get that popular again.
No, he ain't popular now because everybody wants to say Cornell down play anyway.
Right. So now
he's the real MVP.
So now he's in a position where he could have capitalized on that stuff. Maybe got some cars the way Terrell Pryor did. Got some free stuff. Maybe got some people to pay for some autographs the way Terrell Pryor did. But not now. Nobody cares. It's whatever you done for me lately. And now there's a 6'12", 312-pound dude throwing the football for Ohio State. You know what I mean? With a hell of a lot of personality. Like, he's getting into it with, like, Joakim Noah. First of all, Joakim, you're a grown man. He's a child.
Right.
Stop immediately.
Right.
Stop that. But whatever. He's getting into these things with Joakim Noah. I had an article on him the other day that I wanted to read, but it just never got around to it. How, like, he's one of my favorite guys because of his attitude towards children. Like, some kid had to have, like, brain surgery or something. And, sometimes the football players go meet the kids and befriend them and all that kind of stuff. And they got to playing like Madden or something. And he like blitzed this kid like 98-12. Something like that. Like some brain surgery kid. He just annihilates this kid. And I was like, you damn right. You don't show no damn mercy. Yeah, destroy him. It's going to build character. And then the story was about the kid wanting a rematch at some hockey game or something. And they're talking about how, like, Cardell loves the PlayStation or whatever it is, the Xbox or whatever it is he plays. So he goes out, he buys the game just so he can master it, so he can murder this kid again. I was like, my man, that's exactly what you do. Yeah, damn these kids, man. Don't spare no feelings. Destroy them every time out the box so that, They understand this is how the world treats you when you're bad at something. Get better. Be better.
That's like that